Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the Invincible Iron Man issue 20, 2022. Really kind of nice cover there that really fits with what's kind of going on, and this is the conclusion of the creative team of Duggan's run, and we will soon be getting a new Iron Man issue 1 after this, but that is in October, and let's get into this one before we talk about that. So, once upon a time, there was an island called Krakoa. It's gone now. So is Orcus, the organization that infiltrated my company and perverted my technologies. I don't know what will happen from here, but the lawyers are going to be doing their version of the Iron Fist tourney in court for months. Yeah, get that as we see various different kind of things going on. Hellfire Club was a New York institution. The building was too badly damaged from the fire to save. But then again, things in the mutant orbit do tend to rise like phoenixes. Yep, as for me, well, both Iron Man and Tony Stark were needed in court. As we see him splashing down on his armor and dealing with what we need to. Rhodey was having his case dismissed with extreme prejudice by a federal judge. I don't make life on my friends very easy. Maybe that's my superpower. Rhodey is a different matter. He was framed and imprisoned in all of this. As I see them dealing with the whole court situation. Let's see. Mr. Rhodes, the court would like to apologize to you for this grave miscarriage of justice. Thank you, Your Honor. Well, all's well that ends well, Jennifer. You haven't seen my bill yet, Tony. About that, isn't there someone we can sue? Orcus? Any money they had is tied up in victim settlements. What about your autobiography? I love it. She's like, yeah, we gotta talk about this shit. My agent said people are kind of superhero out right now. But I think it'll get good buzz. We thank you for your service to our country, Mr. Rhodes, and this court is adjourned. Oh, while you're hugging, that reminds me. I've almost got the annulment done. Hold off on that for now. Okay, but it's his funeral, Jen. What I want to know is, what happened to Fei Long? And I like how we've got like some different kind of paneling going on as we get smaller ones and we get a close-up on where it's like, what's going on with Fei Long? It's like, yeah, what did he do? And then we see that he wasn't buried alive and that he is on Mars, actually, Arakko. Krakoa was gone, but its sister Arakko remained on what we used to call Mars. I always did want to own Mars, but a joke is a joke. I'm ready to go home, Stark. It's like, okay. And this is very interesting. I do like seeing this. You are home, Fei Long, as we see that he's utilizing a kind of armor that's pretty much making sure that Fei Long's not doing anything. And I really like the layout of this page, where we see like a top kind of panel, Fei Long zapping his ass, and then like it being broken up because of the energy and stuff. I get it, you had to try, but that armor and this prison are impervious to my blasts. What is it you expect me to do here, Stark? As he sits down, kind of similar to a Magneto kind of thing, where he's got a chessboard and everything. What did you think of my autobiography? The table doesn't wobble anymore, as we then see that he put it down. It's like, yeah, but if you're stuck on a place, I'd take what I'd get. I see. I would like to go home to Earth and be judged by a jury of my peers. You have already been judged by a merciful peer. On Earth, you have money. You may even have a bit of celebrity to cash in on. I don't trust the justice system for men like us. You went to war with me. You lost. So, consequences. As we see him moving about the chess pieces, I'm like, Tony's got a very strong point there. However, it's kind of nuts that you can have as much power to pretty much imprison a dude on another planet. I decided your fate. Not tens of millions of dollars in a system that favors the rich. So this is to be the rest of my life? That's very much up to you. I want this place to last for years, but I believe in redemption. So get working. It's like, huh. Interesting. Because this is more similar to a kind of along the lines of what Tony had, in the cave. What would you have me do? Start confessing. You have a lot to write up, and nothing but time. There are no doors in the prison I've placed you in. It's like, okay, as we then see it shift to his helmet. And I'll be watching, Fei Long. Perhaps with a heartfelt confession and offers of restitution, you might regain your humanity. It's like, yeah. And then a nice kind of staggered layout here as well. Your future is unwritten, and you're the author, Fei Long. Stark out. Speaking of writing, today was my publication day, and I needed to make an appearance for the press. So then see him fly to a bookstore. I'm like, yay! Sorry, I like books. I thought I thought I'd kill Fei Long. Hell, I dreamed about it. But in the end, I didn't want more blood on my hands. Good on you, Tony. I wasn't sure if I was going soft, getting better, or getting older. Maybe all three? A little bit, but I don't think it's soft. I mean, you took him and put him on another planet. I mean, I think it's much harder to fight against an impulse to kill than it is just to kill. I pushed Fei Long to the back of my mind. I just wanted to enjoy the beginning of my book tour in Portland. Hey everybody, thanks for coming out. Hello Mr. Stark, I'm Chet. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for having me. I read a bunch of your book. It's better than the cover and title would suggest. Huh? I should have fought harder about the cover. It's like, why? But the publisher is always right. The assembling of Tony Stark is like, oh, okay, that's a little bit weird, but alright. People were lined up overnight. Pretty cool that there's some folks who are dressed up as Iron Man, and we do see a lot of Iron Man and one that's looking like Crimson Dynamo kind of thing, which then plays in here. Yeah, and one goofball dressed up like Crimson Dynamo. Yeah, we got a good chuckle out of that, too. The suit's even made of metal. Excuse me? You guys are friends now, right? I hope. Pardon me. I just left something in my armor. It's like, shit. And then we get pretty much a little kind of throwdown going on. Tony Stark, you fly by your old enemy without even a privet. His name, this Crimson Dynamo's name is, and I shit you not, Valentin Shadilov. You know what he wanted? Glory to the Soviet Union. Your trash autobiography lies about the glory of our great union. What can I say, Shadilov? I'm a capitalist pig. And to prove it, I threw a wristwatch at him that cost 6 figures. Of course, I made some special modifications. And I love the different kind of things that they're going on with this page as it breaks up with the punch, and then he's getting zapped by the watch. The signing's been rescheduled. Everybody run! As he then gets in the armor, but then gets punched. It's like, shit. So you admit it. The leaders of Russia are working to reform the Soviet Union as we speak, and your disgusting propaganda will not taint the minds of the people. As he then gets slammed into a fucking, like, roast truck. Like a coffee thing. Smack! Wizards of the... What is it with Portland? And then he blasts Crimson Dynamite. The Assembling of Tony Stark. A terrible title. Here's my review. It's like... Yeah, there could have been better titles with that. 1 star. It's like, oh my god, he's going full on cackling fucking villain. This dude does not give 2 shits. It's like, oh god, the books. I'm like, no, please no. Run! Oh my god. Oh, come on! Yeah, I didn't have time for Crimson Dynamo. He was a zealot pining for an old failed past. I hit him with some gunk. That's a scientific term, by the way, that I developed for the Sentinels. And we see him just fucking, like, goop gun his ass. And the problem was, I never intended to use my start gunk on anything other than a Sentinel, so it would be hours before he'd be free. I'm like, yep, totally understand Crimson Dynamo praying for that stupid past, but it wasn't that good. Can he breathe in there? Hopefully. Can he pee in there? Not our problem. It's like, kind of could become a problem. If I can buy those books, can you let me have them at wholesale? Sorry, our author discount is 10%. Bill me, gotta fly. I got a date. And I like seeing Tony's armor. It's like, yeah. Back in New York City. My first signing was a bust. I lost money, but I understand that authors do buy a lot of their own books, so maybe I'm in good company. I tried to arrive for my date with Emma a few minutes early. She gets to be the fashionably late one in our relationship. Welcome, Mr. Stark. This way, your sparkling water is on ice. Hello, darling. It's like, they know how to, like, armor, and, like, they do Emma very well, that, like, Ice Queen. I'll seat myself very well. Let me go first. The floor is yours. I don't want you to leave. Anthony, no man ever does. Would you let me pitch? I have a multimedia deck about how you and I really work. Ha! It's like... Now, granted, to me, I like the progression here. And the thing is, I think that would be the only person that Tony would have, like, a multimedia deck to actually do that. And I love her just laugh to that. It's like, oh, God, we've done some really weird shit. I can't tell without peeking if you're kidding or not. I'll be honest, I didn't expect you to be here today, Anthony. You didn't expect to fall for me? I didn't expect to still be alive. I have to go be alone for a while. You were the lone bright spot in what was unquestionably the most difficult time in my life. You need time? Take it. As he's pretty much reaching out to her. And it's like, interesting. I can wait. And it's like, alright, let's see if you can wait. Excuse me, sir, but your guest passed along her regrets before you arrived. She asked me to make sure that I personally delivered this to you. I'm sorry, Anthony. I am too, Emma. As we then see all this fucking money. It's like, holy shit. And how this is explained works pretty well. It was more money than I'd had in years, but I'd never felt more poor, which I totally get. I trust you'll put those ones and zeros to good use. You have my word. Where will you go? Where I'm needed. Excuse me, the pollen is bad today. This is a lot of money, Emma. I believe in you. You'll find brilliant ways to piss it all away. Very true, very true. I really do like their back and forth. And his laugh is like what I was like, ha! Like, yeah. Anthony, perhaps you could do me one favor with the money. Looking at my mind. Ah, I see. Consider it done. I also have one favor to ask of you. Very well. It was never going to last, and at least she had the good sense for the Irish exit. But before she skipped town, I asked her to call on a friend. And I really kind of love this because I'm glad that Bats is utilized and has a consistent voice here. Hello? I was asked to see a doctor. Hi, I'm Bats. The doctor is out, but he said if you arrived, I should give you this. Not sure if I was supposed to read it or not, but it was sad. Oopsie. Okay, bye. It's like, oh, as he gives the book that Tony gave to keep. When I snuck onto Krakoa from the Mysterium to make the Mark 72, I found a little bit of Emma's heart for Mom as she grabs it to her chest. I've been asked if I consider my marriage real. I don't know about the legalities, but it sure felt real. And that's all that matters as she's walking around in a way. Emma's request was simple. I asked Ironheart to help me. The Sentinel head that you sniped is kind of intimidating, Tony. Well, war is hell. Thanks for meeting me, Riri. This memorial is a nice idea. Once again, another great idea that I will get credit for. How's it feel to be living without the Mandarin rings? I'd be lying if I said it didn't feel like withdrawal, but I'm holding on. Good on you, Riri. And then to see that they pretty much make a kind of memorial dedicated to those who paid the ultimate price to fight fascism. So, cool. I'm glad that they were able to do that for him. Promised myself I was in control, but that was just under the veneer. Under all that, my life was a storm. I know a thing or two about what about hiding what I'm going through. I'm proud of you, and I kind of like that they have that kind of connection there. Granted, Tony's had it with alcohol. Riri's now had it with the rings affecting her and everything. It's like, that's interesting. I mean, not all the people in armored suits need to have that kind of thing, but it's a nice kind of connection. I owe you a huge debt. The end of this war would have played out differently if you hadn't delivered the Mark 73. What's next on your agenda? Don't know yet. Just feels good to have my feet back on firm ground. I'm going to think about my next move. Question is, where do you go from here? Is your White Queen sticking around? No. I'm a solo act. I'm also going to be making some changes. I'll hit you with a new address in case you want to head west too. Appreciate the offer. As we see them finishing up the memorial and kind of getting ready to fly out. In the meantime, I'll be tinkering. Emma wants to use her mutant powers to end a panic attack and take me to my happy place. And a few weeks later, I made that hangar back out west of reality. I used Emma's seed money to buy an airstrip on the west side of Los Angeles, and I asked Rhodes to meet me. I had a couple $1 billion, and I started making moves fast. As he pretty much flies in. What do you think, Jim? I got a list of names. You won't love them all. I don't have to if you do. And I like that. It's like, Tony, like, I trust you. I don't give a shit. That's very hard to find. I was grateful that Emma had given me the coffers of the Hellfire Club. Imagine the destruction that Kingpin would have wrought with them. Yeah, exactly. At least that's what I thought the story was. It turned out the truth was somewhat more complicated. Emma Frost knew she was leaving me, so she shorted a parting get. She used her mental powers and made the market work for her. It was the most insider trading maybe ever. The fake trades and skimmed accounts took a while to be noticed, but when they were, there was hell to pay. And seeing her do that like that is a really effective page there. It's like, oh shit. And then I love the ones that we get. It's like Roxanne, looks like Tombstone, this weird dude who looks like fucking Cobra Commander, Doctor Doom, AIM, Triad kind of stuff. It's like, she took for a lot of people. Was he Daria Augur? How could this happen? Somebody robbed me? Oh no, the others will have my hood for this. Oh, maybe the Serpent Society. What? Someone stole what we stole? Somebody will pay for this trespass. This can't be right. It's just, I love seeing all of them with different kind of sized panels and everything. Just, it works. There were lots more bad guys that Emma visited, but that's a story for another day. Rhodey and I made a game called Ton Ball, and I haven't beaten him yet. It's just basketball with a 1-ton sphere of heavy metal. Like, that's... Okay. This is almost kind of funny and kind of stupid, but I love the context because they're two friends in armors. Why in the fuck wouldn't they play 1-ton ball, like ton ball basketball with a fucking one? It's great. I love it. That's coming out of your pay, Jim. And just smashes into a car. It's like, ah, shit. Mayday, mayday. The heavy rocket is in trouble. Time to go to work. I know what you're thinking, but I don't have anything to announce. Can't two Avengers just hang out on the West Coast, kick ass, and save lives without being an official thing? After everything I'd been through, it was nice to have some fun until it all hit the fan again, and you know it would. Okay, and maybe we're starting a new West Coast Avengers. Just don't tell anyone yet as they go to stop this rocket. And I'm like, ah, shit! And then we get a nice little thing from Duggan here, and then a thing for the new one. A new brutal era begins. With his wealth restored, Tony's first order of business is getting his company back out of the weapons game. But the board is more concerned with profit margins and superhero ethics. Stark Unlimited is for sale, and the highest bidders are Tony's two biggest competitors, Roxxon and AIM. New armor and enemies and unbelievable twists abound from Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Spencer Ackerman and groundbreaking artist Julius Ota. Ooh, and I really love that cover there. It looks more kind of steampunk armor style, and I can't wait to see what's going on with it. So, I enjoyed this. I kind of wish that we had gotten more use out of the Mysterium armor to see more stuff going on with it. I mean, granted, it was used to pretty much pilot another kind of thing, so it kind of sucks that we didn't really get like a full thing on it. I mean, it was more of a kind of a slow thing. I mean, I've been reading it since it was like with its introduction and everything, but I don't think it's going to, I love the design for it, but I don't know if it's going to like stand the test of like those big ones that like stand out to your mind of like, okay, the Prime Armor had a really nice kind of interesting look, or the Extremis, the Bleeding Edge, your Silver Centurion, your classic ones. Even the ones from Cantwell's was really nice with how retro it was. But I really liked it. I liked this one, seeing it go. I love that we ended everything pretty much being wrapped up. Rhodey getting out with Court, that hitting a bit. Having the Crimson Dynamo pop up like he did and having a little brawl with Tony was a nice kind of touch. I liked how we saw Emma and Tony kind of part ways, them giving each other gifts and then kind of doing their own thing. I did like them kind of putting a bow on what was going on with the mutants and the fighting of fascism that Orcus was doing because of Tony being so integral with that. That's kind of cool to have that with the X-Men like that, the mutants. I kind of like that they set up a West Coast Avengers thing, and I think that they really need to kind of like hammer in on that and potentially do that, because that would be pretty awesome, especially if you've got Iron Man and Rhodey kind of teaming that up. And Rhodey, I would say that actually that Tony would be the one on the back end and that Rhodey would be the one on the front end leading it because of it being his idea. That would be a really kind of cool thing. So let's hit a little bit more on the new one. Now, the only bad thing for this is that we have to wait until October for the new Iron Man, which is like, no! And it's going back to Iron Man issue 1 instead of the Invincible Iron Man, which is fine, but just let people know about that. And I'm not really that well versed with Spencer Ackerman or Julius Ota, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of goes on with them. And let's see. And of course, they're going. We've got Roxxon and AIM, so it's going to be interesting. We've seen other kind of heroes fighting against Roxxon and all that, so it'll be interesting to see Tony do his whole kind of thing on that. When Iron Man more willing to fight back, play dirty, unleash every bit of intellect to bring them down. When the best of his own technology fails him, Tony will build a brand new armor unlike any seen in his over 60-year history. Dubbed the Improvised Iron Man, fans will see it assembled throughout the series as Tony does what he does best, tinkering and upgrading it to counter anything the world throws at him. I really like that idea. That it's being built over the series and that he modifies it to what kind of needs. It gives me echoes of the Bleeding Edge armor, and that's kind of cool. The Bleeding Edge armor is probably my favorite one because Extremis was that next logical step, and then the Bleeding Edge was just the next one beyond that. I was like, oh yeah. Now, granted, there's other ones that I've liked. I've liked the design of the Mysterium one, the ones that were going on with like Tony dealing with his brother, dealing with the virtual armor and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of different kind of ones, but that one just, him being able to deal with and counter with stuff is cool. The series will also debut a new Ironmonger, complete with mysteriously powered new armor. Roxanne and AIM team up to take on Stark Unlimited, but they're ready for the old Tony Stark. This new one, he's a lot angrier than he used to be. Iron Man is going to war. New armor, old enemies, and unbelievable twists abound in this fresh take on a Fury-powered Iron Man. And I do like this, that we get this kind of quote. Winning a Pulitzer is cool and all, but it's not writing for Marvel Comics, Ackerman shared. And to write Iron Man is a very specific dream come true. A lot of comics' best creators have used Iron Man to tell big stories about security and freedom, with a whole lot of superhero action, of course. I can't wait to build on their legacy. I like that. That's like, ooh, I'm not familiar with your work, but I kind of want to see what's going on with this, and you sound excited for this, so let's see. On how his esteemed career in journalism prepared him to take on Tony Stark's specific complexities, Ackerman added, in my day job reporting on national security, I've covered the real-life equivalents of the Stark Expo, watched experimental weapons in action, seen their impact on human beings, and tracked the massive wealth they generate for a select few. Tony struggles with challenges, and is sure about to struggle with challenges that I've covered over years, but only now I can write about them the way I've always wanted to, in a superhero universe. It's like, ooh, cool. And it'll be interesting to see a more kind of angry Tony. I hope they don't just go complete rage. That's usually more the Hulk kind of style. But it'll be interesting to see how he kind of focuses on that. On sale October 23rd. So, yeah. And, of course, there's another. The Stark-Roxanne War. It's like, ooh, yeah, that looks pretty awesome. That cover's really good. Yasmin Putri. It's like, yes. And then we get some other kind of covers as well. This one shows another kind of better look. Now, granted, when we get solicitations and everything, which should be soon, I'll be able to show you a better one than one on my phone. But I really like the look of that armor. That's like, ooh, interesting. More kind of retro feel and kind of steampunk-ish. We'll have to see how that works out with his tech and everything. And then we see the Ironmonger, and it's like, ooh, having the Ironmonger back is an interesting one. It's been a while since we've had more kind of takes like that. We've normally focused on like Ezekiel Stain and how he kind of moved past that kind of stuff and kind of modifying himself more than actually doing an armor. So we'll see how this works out. I do like the utilization of Roxanne and AIM and a new Ironmonger fueled by something different, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I really like this conclusion. I think this worked very well for the run, and I was very happy. This is a good run for Iron Man. Now, granted, my only kind of downside would be that I don't think that the Mysterium armor was showcased enough. Now, granted, the Sentinel Buster one was showcased like a motherfucker, like it should have been. In a good way. But I liked the character work with Tony and Rhodey and Emma and everything kind of going on, and I can't wait to see what goes on with the new relaunch when we get to it in October. So, those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.